super underrated topic in the entrepreneurship space is when people think that they need to switch businesses, switch vehicles, switch acquisition channels in order to make something work because they've done something for a while and it hasn't worked. And I just talked about this in another video, but for me, for example, I have committed to cold outreach being my main acquisition channel, and that's the reason I make content. It's less about me wanting this content itself to get pushed by the algorithm, but more so when I reach out to somebody, they have somewhere where they can find me and find out more about me. And also this specifically is just kind of to document because I think it's cool and I think other people would like to see it. And I know it would have really helped me if someone else had done this. But anyway, that whole strategy of me doing content is less about to get clients, but I am aware that that is something that could potentially come from it in the future. Anyway, my whole thing has been cold outreach. I've been doing it for 4 or 5 months, whatever, and a lot of reps a day. And my strategy has changed a lot. I can tell very clearly that I'm getting a lot better. And I did a ton of reps in the beginning, and now I've slowed it down to do a more quality approach where I actually just send them the work. I don't ask if they want a free email sample anymore. I say, hey, here's a free email sample. Let me know what you think. So I do a lot less of them per day, but obviously, in my opinion, they have a much higher likelihood of succeeding. But I've been doing this for probably just a few weeks now, and I got really discouraged the other day because I felt like I was crushing it. I was like, wow, this is such a great idea. I don't know why I didn't do this before. It takes way more time, way more hard work, but not only am I getting reps with copywriting itself, I'm learning about businesses, I'm building relationships instead of just reaching out to people, and I'm just putting myself in the best possible position to succeed, because if I do the work beforehand and they can see that I did it, I just don't see how that won't go in my favor, right? Because my debate has been, would it be better to send a lot of DMs asking if they want a sample, or just a few where I actually give them the sample? Which one would get me more results, right? And sending a sample first felt like a no-brainer recently, and so I started doing it, but maybe I'm wrong. But all of that to say, when that started happening, I got really discouraged and I started thinking maybe I was doing something wrong. Maybe I needed to be sending people to a funnel where I talk about the importance of copywriting, or start selling a software, or all these things, because I'm reaching out to these people that are social media people or small businesses or whatever, solopreneurs mainly. And it's easy to get shiny object with that, where I'm like, oh yeah, there's this chatbot software, I should just sell that. And I will have the same problem. I'm still gonna have to reach out to people. It's the same thing. Yes, it's much easier because once you sell it to them, you're done. But same problem essentially is getting clients. So for me, the tough realization that I had is that I just need to keep doing exactly what I'm doing. And a lot of people don't think about this as a solution, where every time something doesn't work after 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, they think that they're doing something wrong. They need to switch it up. Oh, I need to do paid ads then. Oh, I need to do paid ads or reach out to people I know or make content or whatever. But in reality, they're all their own skills. You can't just switch to paid ads and instantly make a profit. I mean, maybe you could, I have no idea, but I would assume you can't, because it's a pretty difficult skill to learn what ads work. It takes a lot of testing. You don't even know how to test, all of that. So for me, since I decided to do cold outreach, I'm committing to doing that because I want to make sure I spend the time to actually get good at it, to be able to determine if it's worth it or not. And a lot of the time we feel like we need to switch something, whether that be our business or our acquisition channel or whatever. And it's typically not the right thing to do. Most of the time it's just to keep doing exactly what you're doing. Obviously iterate along the way so you can speed things up. But me and my buddies were talking about this because we all have businesses, and they were kind of saying the same thing of, I don't know if I need to switch this or that. And I was saying, I truly believe we all just need to keep doing what we're doing and just trust that it will work eventually. But I am no stranger to delayed gratification and being okay with things taking a long time, but it's difficult when you're so convinced that something is really good and that it will work, and it doesn't. And a month doesn't feel like a long time, and it really isn't. But if you're sending a ton, like 100 DMs a day for a month straight, 30 days in a row, and you're sending 100, you're sending out 3,000 DMs, and you would think one person would respond, right? So it is difficult in the micro, but you just have to remember that in the macro, it takes businesses on average, 7 years to succeed. So one little month at the beginning is nothing. The first year, even, what is the tax thing? They let you take a loss the first 3 years of business, something like that. So they're not even surprised if you don't make any money for 3 years. So just keep that perspective, because now it's easier to quit than ever before and just go back to being distracted. So I try to make this to remind myself and other people that that's not a good option if you want to be an entrepreneur, obviously. But for me, I just remember that things take a long time. I have to be okay to endure that and just keep doing the work without seeing any reward. And I try to, part of why I like tracking my reach outs is because I can kind of reward myself in a way for that, because I can be like, oh, I hit 1,000 reach outs today or whatever. And that's the goal, as opposed to I got money from someone, or I closed a client, or I made somebody money, because that just doesn't happen every day. I don't have a ton of clients. So anyway, that's my whole spiel on what's going on right now. But a lot of the time, if you feel like you need to switch it up, take an actual objective look at it and be like, does this just need more time? Is this something that other people do that does work? If so, it means it's an us issue, a me issue, a you issue, instead of a method issue, if that makes sense. So don't hate the method, hate the player, which is us. So it just means we need to get better, and I'm gonna keep pushing, and I hope you do too. So I'll be right here with you.